Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have for you a quick and easy video on how you can make these patterns or designs on your tea dyed papers. So we all tea dye and create that vintage look when we are going for that vintage retro kind of look. We sort of tea dye or coffee dye our pages, but to have these patterns or designs would be like an added bonus. So I thought we'll just do a quick video on how I made these. So I'll just walk through the steps I took for creating these first, and then we'll do one together. So you can do it like in two ways. One is where you create your tea solution, which is just tea leaves or tea powder that you boil in water and for a few minutes. There's no need of any proportion or quantity measurement or anything like that. So when you get your tea solution ready, you just pour it out in a large tray of some kind, and you dip your papers gently one by one, and then you let them soak in the solution for like 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you soak them, the darker will be the color. And when you pick them out, you'll have to be of course very gentle. So you pick them out and you can lay them down on a plastic sheet of this kind, and when you're drying them, you can just simply place coins like these, and just leave the coins on the paper. No need of any weight or anything, the coins are enough. So when you do that, you get this. All right, and you can do this in not just with coins, but with any kind of objects or designs or anything, and we'll come to that. But the other method is, which I've also tried, is just using a spray bottle of some kind and just pouring your tea solution in this, because many of us are, if you're beginners, we are not very confident of dipping our papers in a tray and pulling them out successfully without tearing. So this is an easier way for beginners. So what you do is you just cover your work table with a plastic of some kind, and then you just simply use your spray bottle and saturate the whole paper completely, and then you place your coins like this, and you just cover it up with coins and then leave it to dry, and this is what you get. This kind of looks like you've painted bubbles with watercolor. The effect this gives, sort of water bubbles, and really, I really like how this looks. So that is one way. And another way is what I did here. So with this one is I've just used a stencil like this, and I just placed the stencil. How did I make this? Okay, I just placed the stencil like this, and then used my spray bottle to just spray it all over, and then just left it to dry. But I just used some kind of a paperweight or something heavy to just keep this in place while it dries. So I think even this looks fine. Whether you saturate the paper first and then put your stencil on it, or you keep the stencil and then put the solution on it, either ways, the thing is you're going to get the same result, because the black portion the negative of the stencil, that is where you're not going to get a lot of color, because that sort of pushes the color out, like the coins did here. Of course it's not completely white, but you can see how that area is colored differently. Of course, if you place the coins first and then spray the solution, that be a lot more whiter, I guess, more white kind of circles, but I like this look better. So you can do however mm, you like. For this one too, let me show you the stencil I used. I just placed the stencil and then saturated the paper with the solution, left it to dry, and this is what I got. Another thing that you can do is you can use something like this, which is what we'll do now. So what this is this is a self-adhesive kind of a stencil. So it has this backing on it that you can remove, and it kind of sticks to the paper. Probably the glue would not work after a couple of uses, but you can still use the piece as you would a normal stencil that doesn't have adhesive behind it. So we'll just try with this butterfly, and what we'll do is we'll just first saturate a section of this paper, and then we'll lay the butterfly down. So it's very important that you cover your work surface with some kind of a plastic, otherwise the tea solution is going to get everywhere. It doesn't really matter if it sort of gets accumulated like this, it'll all get dry. But if it bothers you, you can take a napkin of some kind and just lightly dab it to remove the excess. Like that. And then we'll just peel this backing off from the stencil and put it down. Like that. And because it has this adhesive at the back of it, you don't really need any kind of weight to put over it, so it stays in place because it's not going to go anywhere because of that glue. So we'll just put this away to dry, and what we'll do is I made a similar kind with this adhesive stencil, and we'll just peel this off and see how it looks. That's pretty. So this is how it looks when you use a self-adhesive stencil. You could just achieve the same thing with a regular stencil, and I haven't tried, but I guess you could do it with something that is um, you know gives a sort of design of some kind. Like maybe you could try laces of different kinds, or create patterns of your own. Maybe saturate the paper and then lay some um, threads or strings of different kinds on it. One other thing that I wanted to share, sort of a fail for me, but I thought I'd share so that you don't make that mistake. I used this stencil, but I don't think it kind of worked because the design is not very clear, and I guess it's because the stencil is very very thin, and you don't really have uh, much of a space for it to hold the solution so that it doesn't spread, so it kind of got smudged here and the design isn't clear. So I guess that's something to keep in mind. As long as your stencil has slightly thicker borders and slightly thicker design, I think it's gonna work with this technique. So that is it for this video. I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed watching me dye my papers, and I hope you'll try this technique too. Let me know in the comments down below. Until we meet again, take care. Bye.